How are you doing, Michel?
I'm pretty good, Jack. How about you?
Good. Thank you for coming on. This time we decided to do a video chat.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to see what an ex-goalie looks like with white hair and wrinkles and scars and whatever.
You look great.
You look a lot better than me.
Thank you. You look great also. Yeah. And so the first time we talked, it was a lot of great stories you had, and I wanted to ask you because I did follow the WHA's history, but I never actually watched a game in person. And wanted to ask you about the blue pucks. They use that as an experiment. And how was that? Did you ever get to see those?
No, I think they tried that right before I got into the WHA, but I heard about it. As a matter of fact, I was in Montreal 3 years ago, right before COVID, and I went to see my old coach Jacques Demers, who had a stroke and is in the hospital. He can't talk, but I went to visit him, and I was reading his book at that point, and I said, Jacques, I said, he said that they tried with red pucks, so they may have tried with blue also. But I said, it's hard enough to see it black. I said, if they color it like that, I said, either we'll go blind or something's going to happen. It's just, it's going to make the game even worse. They're going overboard with all those changes. And example, the see-through boards they had in Minnesota for the Fighting State.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'd lose the puck because it was the same color as the people's pants. So the guy would shoot the puck from the boards, and you can tell while the blade was up in the air, you lost the puck because it was the same color as the pants, and suddenly the puck's coming at you at 95 miles an hour, and there it is. So it was an idea, to try to sell the league even more, and like a few of them they tried. Some of them are decent, but some of them are not. And that was a bad one. The goalies didn't like it one bit. I heard.
No, I heard about the orange or red puck also, and Morris Lukowich was telling me they used that in a game in LA Sharks was just an experiment, but I don't think it did well. I think
no, it never did. I mean, it just didn't get a good vote anywhere. So they got rid of them right away.
And you're talking about the see-through boards. Was that the whole rink, or was that a certain section? So you had plexiglass on the boards instead of white boards, correct?
Yeah, we had plexiglass, but the boards were the same color as the plexiglass. It was all the way around the rink.
Wow.
Minnesota Fighting Saints in Minnesota. Yeah, in St. Paul. That was probably another try. It didn't take either. It was the only building that had that, and I think that the team, the franchise fell apart, and then nobody else ever tried to do it. But it was. I would think it was kind of cool for the spectators, but it wasn't good for the players.
No, not at all. And you have a story about Gordie Howe when you played.
Yeah, Gordie. That's back when I was in Cincinnati then. After playing a couple of years in Indianapolis, Jacques Demers brought me with him in Cincinnati, and we were playing the Whalers in New England. And the night before, I turned on the TV, and everybody was talking that Gordie Howe had 999 goals career in pro hockey.
Oh wow!
And that tomorrow against Cincinnati, come on over because it's going to be the 1000s. I said to myself, not if I can help it. I don't want to go in the record books that way. No. I'd rather not go in the record books than go in the record books that way. So first period comes on, and sure enough, they shoot the puck. He cuts through the middle. He gets a breakaway, and there's a quick flash that got through my mind that I watched him do that on TV when he was a kid against Rogie Vachon. Vachon was in Montreal, and he had a breakaway against Vachon, and you would think on a breakaway sometimes. Most guys today try to make some complicated moves to fool the goalie. But Gordie just got close, and what he tried to do is he shot it right on the ice between the legs, hoping the goalie's stick would be up in the air, or get up in the air at some point. And Vachon stopped him. So I had that quick vision going through my mind in a split second when I see him coming at me on the breakaway. So I'm going to try to bait him in. I'm going to get my stick up in the air, get my legs a little wide open, and pretend that with my feet sideways that I'm going to think he's going to deep and bait him into shooting the puck between my legs like he did. So sure enough, he did that, and I timed myself on him, got the feet together, the stick on the ice, and stopped him in breakaway. The next game in Birmingham, he scored his 1,000 goal against John Garrett.
Oh wow!
So I dug the record books in a negative way.
That's true. Yeah. Did he tell you anything after? Did he say good save or anything? Did he come by the net?
No, he didn't say a thing. He just kept playing. And Gordie was, just about business, and he played his game and didn't let anything rattle him. Yeah. And so that was it. I had a good against top players. I had some pretty good stats. I don't know. It's because I always prided myself at thinking, well, how good am I really against the top teams or top players? And that's how I'm going to gauge myself, because if you can be good against regular teams, that's one thing. But if you can be good against the best players and teams, then it just, it seems like it elevates you, your own self-esteem a notch higher. And I always seem to have that knack at doing decent against the top teams and the top players.
Yeah.
So
definitely, it's competitive spirit. You got it in you.
Yeah, like the Islanders in the '82 playoffs, where we took them to the final game in overtime, and we were leading by two goals with 5 minutes left, and we had lost the first two games badly, and it came back to Pittsburgh, and then I think I told you that story last time, and the owner said, I'm ashamed of my boys. He was Italian. He said, I'm going to refund the money of all the people that have already bought tickets. I said to myself, you son of a gun. I said, I just busted myself out there to keep, these scores reasonable. It could have been twice as bad. And so either it was reverse psychology or not, it worked. Because we beat them 2-1. I had a great game that night. And the next night, Podvang comes into the papers and says, now we got to stay in bleeping Pittsburgh on Easter Day in order to finish them off. I say, you son of a gun. You think you would? So we got going, man. We beat them 5-2, go to New York, and then we lost that game. We were leading that game 3-1 with 5 minutes left, and long story short, we lost 4-3 in overtime. But they kept talking and motivating us. Either it was for us or against us. And you don't do that against hockey players, because you don't steer up the competitive natures. But sure enough, if you want them to show up against you, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's true. And did you ever, on your team, been warned, like the players warned, like don't mess with Gordie Howe's sons? Did you ever hear about that? Because he'll come and take care of business if somebody messes around.
Yeah. I never heard that, but all three of them played together.
Yeah.
Used them for a while. I think maybe even in New England after that. And Gordie's boys were solid. They could defend themselves. So I don't think Gordie. I know he probably would be there if need be, but his kids were good players, and they always defended themselves well. So I doubt he ever did that.
Yeah.
At least I can't remember any stories to that effect.
Yeah. Did you guys have any competitions in practice, like a breakaway competition or anything like fun stuff that you guys over the years with any of the teams? Did you ever have any of those?
Yeah. We always had the famous scrimmage East-West game. The Easterners from Canada against the Westerners, because that's always a big one. So that was a big one, and then the breakaways. That was a good one too, but I usually won most of them. You knew your guys, you knew your guys. You practiced every day. You knew their moves. You know if they rely on a shot more than a deke or whatever. So after you see these guys over and over, at some point you can pretty well figure them out.
Were you there when Mario was on your team, Lemieux?
Yeah. His first year was my last. Yeah.
Well, how was it? Did you figure him out when he came in and practiced against you or anything? Was he tough to stop?
Yeah, I did too, because in training camp he tried that famous move where he used to fake you one way and then win the other way in his backhand, and he and he beat everybody that way. So he tried that on me, and I stopped him, and I looked at him and said, "You're in the NHL now, kids. That's not going to work." But it did. It just didn't against me. I told Eddie Johnson after, "That kid thought he'd come here and try these junior moves against me. That's not going to work." Yeah. He's in the NHL now.
Eddie Johnson was a goalie. Like, did he ever give you advice too, or no?
Yeah, Eddie was great. He was like a second dad to me. He taught me I was a stand-up goalie, but he taught me how to wait patiently and not make the first move. Yeah. And just get my feet in place and not move them unless or until I had to. And that helped me produce the best year of my career that year.
That's awesome. Yeah. And he played on Canada Cup 72. I think he was with that team.
Yeah. I mean, he was one of those guys who was an excellent goalie, but I could identify with him a bit, and he could identify with me because he was always on the losing team back then, because Boston was losing bad all the years that he played, and he was their number one goalie, and he played all those games. And whenever they got decent, then Cheevers came in, they played Cheevers, and Eddie was the backup, and then that's the year, I guess, that Bobby Orr scored the big goal against St. Louis in 71, and then he went to other places. I know he was in Pittsburgh for a while, but he was a great guy. He was from Montreal like I was, and he was kind of an idol. I told him one time, I said, "Hey, do you remember that game when you went to Montreal Forum one time?" I said, "You'd have to remember that, because it couldn't happen often that you shut out the Canadians 6-0 in Montreal." Wow. And they were booing Charlie Hodge, and they were applauding for you. And he said, "Oh yeah, I remember that one." So I was there that night, and I became a big fan of yours that night. Wow. He looked at me, and he was almost like teary-eyed. So, man, that's great. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah. And when he's a famous guy for drafting Mario Lemieux to Pittsburgh, so that's a guy.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson.
Yeah. He got accused of letting the team lose on purpose, so you'd have the first pick, but that didn't happen. He had to try different guys to get us going some up for the following years, and he would have done that either he had the first pick or not. So, but we did get the first pick and jumped on Mario.
But you knew about it. Like, how long did you know? Like, how early did you know that Mario could be a Penguin with Pittsburgh Penguin? I mean, how early did you guys know in the season? Or?
We kept hearing that there was no contest. He was going to be the first pick, and it was between us and the New Jersey Devils on who would have the first pick. So we had heard about him months before the end of the season, and that he was going to be a franchise player. And as it turned out, he was. Him and Crosby saved the franchise, and Pittsburgh turned it into a great one.
Yeah. I mean, if Mario wasn't injured, I think he would have probably broken some of Gretzky's records, because I
think so.
Yeah.
I really think so. And it's the Hodgkin's disease and the injuries, and he just didn't get to play as much as Gretzky did, but he had the talent to do that.
Yeah. And speaking of Gretzky, you have a Gretzky story you want to share with us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My big year in Pittsburgh, we're playing them and playing the Oilers, and we lost 2-1, but I had, I don't know how many shots they had, but I was hot. And I stopped him near the end of the game, and I made a big save against him. And I covered up the puck, and he put the brakes on and sprayed some snow on me. And he got his head down. As I've got the head down covering the puck, he says, "You're, don't forget, you're coming to Edmonton in 2 weeks." I said to myself, and I got my head up, and I said, "Oh, that can't be good." And he was already gone by then. So 2 weeks later, we're in Edmonton, and I turn around during the warm-up practice in the morning, and who was sitting behind the net watching me? Wayne Gretzky.
Oh.
I said, "Oh, man." I said, "I made the mistake of stoning this guy, and now he's going to try to make me pay back." Long story short, I had a pretty good game that night, mind you say, because it could have been a lot worse, but the final score was 10-4 for them.
Wow.
Of course. And he had 4 goals and 3 assists. Yeah. So he made me pay for robbing him in Pittsburgh. And I was kind to him. I didn't say a thing when I stopped the puck in Pittsburgh. I just stopped it, mind my own business, but I guess he just didn't like that. He was that kind of guy. He could motivate himself into imaginary situations and pay you back if you had a hot night against him,
Yeah, he's a competitor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But he was a great guy. My last training camp was in Edmonton in '86, and I bet he basically got to play a couple of exhibitions with him in front of me, and as the only time my whole 12-year career I ever had a winning team in front of me, and I said, "Wow, this is really good." That would be fun. Yeah, they were trying to trade Mugg. They had Fuhr and Mugg, two great goalies.
Yeah.
And Fuhr wanted to play more, and so did Mugg. And he says, that's not going to work out. They're both number one goalies. They're both that good. And so basically, at the end of training camp that year, Glenn Saylor told me, he says, we need a good solid vet to cover up 25, 30 games a year whenever Fuhr gets hurt or when he's tired to cover up for us. And but the way they wanted to do it, because I had missed the year before for a knee operation, and Pittsburgh had run my contract out, they said, well, we want to send it to Nova Scotia in the American League for a while, and then when we trade Mugg, or if we trade Mugg, we bring him back with us. If we don't trade him, we could always sell you to Chicago or some team that would love to have you. And I said, well, that doesn't sound like a good deal to me. I had a bad right knee at that point. And I said, you know what, let me just pack it in right now. I've had 12 years. It was great. And but I kind of regretted it a little bit because they ended up winning the Cup again the following year, that specific year that I decided not to do that. And I you never know. My name could have been on the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking right now. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So, but it's all past history, and it all turned out good no matter what afterwards. So,
you're in the NHL for many years. You don't want to go back to the minor leagues. I mean, if they're going to pick you, bring you right in. There's no reason to. You know what I mean? It's just a waste of time. Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I finished the last 3 months of my previous year. Well, not the previous year. I was off because of a knee injury. But the year before that, I finished the last 3 months in Baltimore with a farm team for the Penguins. And after you've been in the NHL, and then you have these 12-hour bus rides, and then you got to go play. And that was 32. And says, what? No, I don't want to go through that again.
No. I don't blame you. The average fan out there doesn't understand the goalie's vision. So when you have a defenseman backing in, do you guys communicate with the defense a lot? Do all goalies communicate, or some are quieter than others?
I'm sure some are quieter, but I communicate. I talk to them a lot. I told them if they were backing in too fast or to stand up more, or I talk to my defensemen a lot because I like the communication. Because we had to rely on where they were to see the puck better. You're right, on certain situations, so they couldn't overplay or underplay somebody because it could affect us. So.
And it's your job to talk to them when they're going around the net that its coast is clear, or man on. You got to help them out, right? The average fan doesn't understand that. A lot of people just think that the goalie just stands there and does nothing. But you're yeah.
No, you talk all the time. You near the end of the game when you're killing an extra man situation when they're trying to tie the game. I mean, you encourage them and you tell them to dig and to whatever, to just keep them focused and keep them strong.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes, especially a 5-minute major, and you're moving, and someone loses a stick, and you gotta, or they give you lose the stick, and they give you their stick, and it's like all kinds of things can happen out there. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Did any colors of the gear matter for you when they were backing in, or screening you, or did the black pants or like the Cooperalls? None of that.
No, not really. No. One year was a little tough when the Flyers decided to wear long pants, black long pants.
That's what I meant. Yeah, the black pants.
So I don't know why they did that, but because of the color, I never thought about it. But I'm sure some goalies thought about it more than I. It never bothered me, but. It would have been the same situation I just described in Minnesota, where you have some black pants, and then suddenly the puck is shot from from a pair of black pants near the board, and then the same with them. They were shooting pucks, and the puck got in the air, and it got right over the black pants, and you sometimes you couldn't see it. So that's the only time where you were a little more careful. You just paid more attention. It made me even more focused.
Yeah. Did you guys have any strength tests over the years on any teams? Certain kind of tests, and who was the strongest?
What did you say?
Like the strength test, like bench press or grip test or anything like that. Speed, running, jumping, anything like that. Did you guys do any kind of fitness testing before the season started to see who was the strongest?
Yeah, we didn't compete in things like that, but we made sure we did a lot of different things, like to protect your groin. You would jump on a fiberglass plate, and then skates go from side to side to stretch your groins out on the plate of fiberglass. Or you would get on the bike. And the bike was the big one. We kept our legs strong and in shape, like keeping ourselves in shape from the waist on down, because you have to have strong legs to play hockey, no matter what position you play.
Yeah.
So they told us basically in these days, and what I did personally is I made sure I never gained any weight in the summertime. I just came back at the same weight that I finished the season, and so it was never, even though I didn't do anything real specific in the summertime, I played a lot of golf and prepared myself for an after hockey career with it. I made sure I did some jogging the last month and a half, and got the cardiovascular up, because of course in goaltending, especially when you play penalties, your cardiovascular's got to be very, very strong.
Yeah, and some of the guys came in out of shape. Did you ever see anybody coming out of shape, or are they all back in the day?
Some guys, took it a little easy in the summertime, but not that many. Grant Fuhr was famous to do that in Edmonton, and then he caught flack, to play golf all summer.
Yeah.
He always came back heavy, and I guess the story I heard is that guys would get on his case to at least keep his weight down during the summertime. But I've never really heard too many guys come in. I mean, if you did, you were scared to lose your job, because there's some guys there that were ready to take the job, no matter who you were.
Yeah.
Unless you were a superstar and you knew your job was assured, but it wasn't wise to do so.
Yeah. And you're a golf instructor at a local college, and I want to ask you, who's the best hockey player golfer you've ever seen? We know Grant Fuhr plays a lot of golf, and many people do. Who's the one that you've seen that plays really well?
Mario was an excellent golfer. He used to hit the ball a long ways.
Who's that?
Mario Lemieux.
Oh, Mario, really?
Yeah, Mario Lemieux was an excellent golfer. Andre Saint Laurent I played with. Andre played for the Islanders and then finished with us in Pittsburgh. He was from my hometown, and he grew up playing with the top Quebec pros when he was younger, out of LA. Suburban outside of Montreal, and you kept hearing rumors, and all the teams. There was somebody really good at golf, because hockey is so similar to golf, because the physics of the game are the same. You got an object on the ground, you got to transfer your weight, and you have a precise target in front of you. You don't have to do that in baseball or tennis, because you got a net or white lines or whatever. But in hockey and golf, the object's on the ground, and it's a precise target in front of you. So the action is almost the same. So hockey players will, by reputation, get much better at golf faster than the other athletes of other sports.
Yeah.
And so we kept hearing stories that some guys were tremendous golfers from other teams, like Darren Veach in Washington was a +2 handicap and competed in amateur tournaments. So yeah, but it's of course, it's a long shot away from being able to try to play golf for a living. You got to be so consistent. But I've seen a lot of good players.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, I saw Wayne Gretzky play golf, and he shoots hockey left-handed, but he's hitting golf right-handed. How can that be?
Yeah, that's amazing. to me for a forward anyway, because as a goalie, I played baseball and I was basically hitting out of the left box. I was right-handed, but because I caught left-handed and shot left-handed in hockey, people thought, well, you could go either way, but I ended up playing golf from hitting golf balls from the same way I hit baseballs, from the left-hand, like from the left-handed box as a right-hander. So that amazes me that someone that played hockey and shot the puck one way played golf the other way.
Yeah.
Unless you're ambidextrous, and that's happened to. I've got a couple of friends that are two handicaps, and half their clubs are lefties, half their clubs are righty, but it's usually Canadians, because in Canada, you just you play hockey and then suddenly you play golf, and some guys shoot the same side, but some guys don't.
Yeah.
That's why you have a lot of left-handed golfers in Canada, guys who were left wings, but hockey's a Canadian sport, so not the other countries don't have that many lefties as Canada does in the golf world.
Yeah. I'd like to see Wayne Gretzky shoot right with a hockey stick. I would just like to see if he can do it. I think he could.
Yeah.
I think the guy could shoot both ways. Ambidextrous for sure.
Yeah. He's probably that good an athlete. When I try, I just whiff it. I don't even hit it, so it's not for me. I'm going to stay righty. I have enough trouble playing as a righty, this crazy game of golf, without trying it the other way.
Yeah, it's awesome. Did you see any hockey players play other sports? I mean, like a two-man, any professional in other sports? Did you see anybody that can do both sports?
Not really. It was a rarity. You had the Dion Sanders at some point did football and baseball.
Jackson.
I heard that there were some good hockey players. Like Clark Gillies could have played pro baseball. I heard he was that good.
Oh, really?
Bobby Bourne, same thing. They were great players with the Islanders, and they were that good a pair of baseball players that they could have chosen that, just like I did when I signed with the Expos. So I'm sure there's many guys that were, because I guess when you got the gift of athleticism, you usually can be pretty good at more than one sport, faster than other people because you're an athlete. It comes naturally to you, like other areas come naturally to other people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You played baseball? Did you sign with the Expos? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I signed with the Lemieux. Well, I got a story for you, too.
Yeah.
With Gary Carter. Gary Carter was signed the same year. Well, actually, I signed in 72. I was playing in the Montreal Junior League, and the Expos took notice of me and offered me a contract. And I had to decide at that point. You couldn't do both. So they said, well, if you sign with us, you're going to have to give up hockey. And that was after 2 years of junior hockey with the Montreal Junior Canadiens. So that was a heavy decision. But I love baseball that much, and I did not like the pressure that goaltenders had to take in hockey.
Yeah. So
being young at that point, that I weighed all the pluses and minuses, and I ended up signing with the Expos. And I guess in the end of summer of 71, and started the 72 season in the minor leagues in West Palm Beach. But during training camp, another kid showed up that they had drafted out of high school. His name is Gary Carter. He's from LA, so LA people would know him. I really liked him a lot as a person, but I was competing with him, and before I ever was introduced to him, he's hitting balls at practice one night, at batting practice, and I get near the backstop, and I ask somebody, say, who's this guy? This man, he just knocked 2 balls over the left field fence in a row, and then proceeded to do it 3 more times after that. The pitcher was getting mad, and the harder he threw it, the further he hit it.
Wow.
I said, what a hitter. I said, what's his name? I asked somebody. I said, well, that's Gary Carter. I said, what position does he play? Oh, he's a catcher. I said, oh, no, that can't be good. I had the same reaction I had with Gretzky saying, you're coming to Edmonton in 2 weeks, I said, that is not good. So he wasn't that good defensively, because his hands were a little sluggish, and his feet were a little sluggish, so they kind of and I had quick feet and quick hands, and I had a release from glove to glove of 1.6 seconds to throw guys out at second base. So that was major league.
Yeah.
So they used me to help him with block balls because as a goalie, it was I was good at blocking balls. My feet were quick,
Yes.
and I helped Gary a little bit with that, and I showed him how not to close the glove on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball because if you try that, the ball bounces out.
Yeah.
You have to cushion it and sweep it out at the same time, and then he would throw it from way behind his ear, which is way too slow to get somebody out at second base. So then we had to teach him to throw it from his earlobe. And when he got good enough to do that, of course, he could out-hit me like crazy. I was 175 pounds. I was a line drive hitter. He was 205, and he was already a home run hitter.
Wow.
I never had a chance to. So at the end of that year, I said, you know what? I think I better go back to hockey. Because I'm not going to cut it with these guys. And they already had Barry Foot out there, who was a huge guy. And I think Barefoot made it, played for the Phillies later on. But we had one heck of a team. We had Larry Parrish on third base.
Yeah, also.
And we had Ellis Valentine, LA Kid, who was in the outfield, Jerry White. We had Steve Rogers, one of our pitchers, and one of the best curveballs in the game. So we were in single A ball at Florida State, West Palm. And I don't regret the experience. It was great, but I just didn't have the size to compete. These were Johnny Bench's days. Catchers were long ball hitters, and I was 30, 35 pounds too light. And my talent was really in hockey.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had no idea that you were a baseball player. Also, see, if we didn't do this interview, we'd have never known.
It gave you one more story,
Yeah.
So, but a good story with that too. But the first game in Montreal that I played with the Nordiques, first game ever in the history, Nordiques Montreal, October 13, 1979. So I played that game. I had a great game, and at the end of the game, I hear this voice from the boards, Michel, Michel, Michel. And I look, and he's waving at me, and his thumb was in a cast. And there was people around him, and I looked and I said, I hadn't seen him in 7 years since I got out of baseball. And he was already with the Expos. And so I look, I said, it's Gary. So I went to him. I said, Gary, how are you doing, man? Great to see you. I said, what's with the thumb? He said, I had to get operated. I had something wrong with my thumb. So the man, I said, what a great goalie you are. I mean, I didn't know I was playing baseball with a great goalie like that. So I sure knew I was playing with a great catcher like you, and that's why I'm here now.
He was an all-star every year, Gary Carter. I mean, he's a very famous name. Everybody knows Gary.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He passed from brain cancer 9 or 10 years ago, but still to this day in Montreal, everybody loves the guy. And he was so good to the people, and they named the street after him. And it was a great, happy-go-lucky guy,
Yeah. So they can support a team in Montreal, another baseball team, you think? I mean, is still popular or not as,
Oh, yeah. It wasn't because it wasn't popular. It's just because of the difference between the American dollars, Canadian dollars, and a lot of guys didn't want to play there because of that, especially the Americans. And we had crowds, but they always supported crowds-wise, but for some reason, they moved to Washington, and a lot of people still love baseball there. At least they did then. I don't know if it's like that now because they've been gone a few years, but in those days, people were really sad to lose the franchise.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially after almost beating the Dodgers, I believe it's 1982. I think they made it to the final of the National League, and then the Dodgers beat them in 6 games or so. And, the fever really caught on. But anyhow, it just never happened. I hope they do get another team.
Yeah, you never know. Anything can be possible.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. And great hockey stories. It's awesome.
Yes, sir. Right. It just it gets you to realize how many good stories are still there, but because you're not asked about them often, you forgot about them. But they're there. I say, I remember this one, that one, and this one. And but definitely the it was a league that was always on the edge financially, and only because of Gordie, Howe, and Bobby Hall did we make it as long as we did, I think.
Yeah.
But it was good to see so many guys have success in the NHL, though, like they were in the WHA, because we fought our reputation as hockey players a long time in the WHA, because everybody was saying, well, they're not as good as NHL, and we had beaten some of the NHL players in our junior years, so why couldn't we beat them again?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to think of it.
And prove that. A bunch of us had good careers in the NHL after that, made the All-Star game, and so everybody knew that it was a lie all these years that these guys could play.
Yeah, it was definitely great. I mean, I wish there would. The teams that were there was not bad. I wish there was more teams that maybe that year came in. Might have been good instead of just the 4. Then more people kept their jobs. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but it created some jobs for some of us that may not have had jobs. Without these extra teams and that extra league, and it gave us a chance to prove that we could play there years later. But
what happened to the guys that when the WHA folded and the 4 teams went to the NHL? What happened with those players? Where did they go? Did they go to Europe, or what did they do?
Yeah. Well, some of us got drafted by NHL teams. I got drafted by Quebec, and others got drafted by one of these 4 teams, so they went to the NHL. But some of them didn't get drafted by these teams, or didn't sign with another NHL team. Some of them moved to Europe. Some of them had to retire because they were old and no one would give them a job or whatever. So it was tough.
Yeah, that's hundreds of players not going to play. I mean, that's a lot of players. That's sad.
Yeah. That's cool.
Man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sad because, years of hard work were terminated for not having an opening. And everybody deserves a chance to play once they worked that hard to get there.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like, what happened? Nobody ever talks about that. What happened to those guys? Where did they go? Because a lot of them, there wasn't just 4 teams in the WHA. There was at least 10 teams, correct, or more?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There were other teams, and then they only took the 4 franchise that they figured were good enough to be an advantage to the NHL and let go of the rest. Yeah. You had a team like Birmingham, or where players had to retire unless they could find a job somewhere. And there are other teams like that, So it was tough.
Yeah. It was great stories. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time, and it was awesome.
Well, it was great talking to you. I always enjoyed talking hockey. There's souvenirs and memories that will never leave you, and it's always so enjoyable to recall and talk about it all. You live it all over again to some degree, and that's fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. Yeah. You have a great day. Enjoy your day out there, and have a great weekend.
You too, my friend.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll talk soon, all right?
Absolutely, anytime. You got it.
All right.
You too.
Take care,
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.